Take down Sawtooth Jack before that church bell rings at midnight.
You really think that's real? I saw it. It's real.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 horror film Dark Harvest. The film is directed by David Slade and it stars Casey Likes, Emery Crutchfield and Jeremy Davis. Now the film is set in the 50s I believe, and it focuses on a small American town, like a farm town, that has this annual tradition at Halloween. Every Halloween, Sawtooth Jack rises up in the cornfields, and the youths of the town are locked in their rooms for 4 days to prepare for this, then let loose, and their one job and their only job is to hunt down and kill Sawtooth Jack before Sawtooth Jack gets to the church at midnight. If they kill Sawtooth Jack, to the child that actually commits the kill, they are bestowed with riches. Their families are given a big house, they're given them money in a car, and renowned fame forevermore within the town. If Sawtooth Jack gets into the church, then a whole set of bad luck will fall amongst the town, and the crops will fail, and basically things will be pretty bad. And this one particular year, Richard is determined to do this run on this particular night to emulate his brother that did it the year previously. However, there are powers and people within the town trying to prevent him from doing this. But time is running out and Sawtooth Jack is rising very shortly. Right, what are my thoughts on Dark Harvest? Well, apparently this is based on a fairly well-known book. I don't know the book and I've not read the book, so therefore I can't comment on how fairly this film reflects the book. Now, this is a film that I've had on my watch list, and I probably would have watched this a couple of weeks ago when it first came out, but I didn't know an awful lot about it. And it didn't sound, from the synopsis and what have you, to be that interesting. However, a couple of people that I know from YouTube have watched and given some feedback on this. And while it doesn't seem to be, rocking anybody's world, the concept kind of won me over, and I thought, well, I'll give this one a go. And while I think there are aspects of this film that are really very well made indeed. I mean, we've got David Slade here. And if that name doesn't sound familiar, he is the guy that directed 30 Days of Night, which in my humble opinion is one of the very best vampire movies. Not just of the last 20 years, but of ever, I would say. I just think it's an absolutely fantastic movie. So there's some real talent here with David Slade. I think he's done things like Hard Candy as well, which was very, very well received. So there's definitely some decent production values going on here. The film is very, very polished. There are some very impressive effect shots going on here. The visuals and cinematography are pretty spectacular at times. It's shot very, very nicely indeed. I think where this film falls down for me is it's got a great concept, but when you actually try and deliver this concept, there's like flaws all over the place, really. And it's not one of those films where you can just go in and click your brain off and just enjoy the kills or enjoy the film for what it is. It's trying to be a little bit deeper and a little bit clever and a little bit more intellectual than that. There's quite a lot of family drama going off and all this kind of stuff in relationships, and it's got things to say about racism at this day and age and feminism and all this kind of stuff. There's like undercurrents of different narratives going on in this film. So it's not a film with its tongue in its cheek, and it's not a film you can just click your brain off, you know what I mean? Because it is trying to say a few things. But for me, it kind of it's almost like a student that thinks it's really clever walking to class but tripping up and dropping all its books along the way. Because I couldn't take this film seriously up to a point when you get a series of kills. Don't get me wrong, they were great kills to watch. You see people's heads get chopped off and you know, blood flying everywhere, and, you know, some pretty gruesome deaths taking place in this film, filmed very nicely. But then you've got characters sat in a car having a deep conversation about this, that, and the other. And you're just thinking, hang on a minute, you've just seen some of your mates get murdered. You've actually met Sawtooth Jack, so you know he's real. But you're having a good old chat with this girl about things. And it was at that point, and I'm just kind of thinking, I can't handle this. This is just, it's bloody stupid. And this whole concept of this town, a town that you can never leave. And the only people that ever leave the town are those that kill Sawtooth Jack once a year, sort of thing. They're, you know, given loads of riches and fame, and off they go, sort of thing. Or do they? And for me, it's like, okay, well, that concept makes sense if there was something actually to prevent you leaving this town. But the only thing that's preventing them leaving this town is like, I don't want to spoil it, but it's not a lot. Okay, that's as far as I go. You know, if you really wanted to leave this town, you bloody well could. And there's supposed to be like this conspiracy going on in this town, you know, where there are certain people controlling certain things, and it doesn't explain that particularly well. So it kind of trips itself up, this film. It's trying to do too much, and I suspect maybe the book explains all this far, far better than the film does. The film does, I think, a very poor job of explaining it. And I think if the film had kind of trimmed the fat and just focused more on the Sawtooth Jack and the teenagers and that whole dynamic of the teenagers feeling obliged to hunt down Sawtooth Jack, I think we'd have had a better film here on his hands. It focuses on far too many of the fringe elements to really make the horror aspect of the film really, really work. And, you know, it doesn't even explain, you know, why these teenagers have to do it. You know, because anybody could kill this creature, it would seem. So why, you know, why lock up your teenagers for 4 days and turn them into starving, ravaging beasts just so they'll go out and hunt this Sawtooth Jack? And then, you know, this one particular night, they're all homicidal maniacs. And it's just like, I don't know. It just didn't sit right with me, a lot of this film. It didn't explain itself particularly well. I thought at times it was poorly written. But everything else about it tells you that this is a well-made film. So it kind of delivers on some aspects and under-delivers on others. But I still think it's a slightly above-average film, this. Though definitely I enjoyed aspects of it. I thought the whole Sawtooth Jack concept worked, you know. So the deaths and kills were quite fun to watch. And I didn't dislike some of the characters and some of the dynamics going on in the film. They were just, I don't know, poorly put on screen sort of thing and poorly presented to the audience member. So lots of potential here, and I don't think you would feel like you'd wasted your time completely if you sat down and watched this one. But definitely, I think, a missed opportunity. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thank you. If you did enjoy the video, please click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And I will, of course, be back with plenty more reviews and content on the channel very, very soon.